Hello and welcome to Spirit Touched. Grace is a 5 letter word spelled Jesus. That's why it's so amazing. This is how we embrace the mysteries. What is amazing grace? Now let's see what's so compelling about this grace. It's the part of the song that starts in verse 4. In a letter written in 1804, Mr. Newton writes that these interesting words: time, how short; eternity, how long. Let's take a look at verse 5. That's not in most hymnals. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow, the sun forbear to shine, but God who calls me here below will be forever mine. As a sea captain, Mr. Newton knew life was a voyage from a familiar port to an unknown one. This means life can could be Titus 2:11 through 14. He knew grace was in his past. It was not in his present, and it would be in its future because he knew Jesus would come again. Rather, neither he nor Paul ever lost sight of their past. They found grace in every part of their lives of service to him. They both knew they would see his face in heaven, and they did. 1 Corinthians 15:10. Both of them saw their lives through the lens of this amazing grace. Paul told Titus that grace appeared. Grace is the nature of our God. Everything Jesus did spoke of grace. The resurrection is the ultimate gift of that grace, which is victory over death. You see, it's the grace that makes the love attainable to us. No matter how we try, we cannot get grace to compute in our finite minds. It's grace that cleans us up and changes us, then dresses us in righteousness. It continually surprises us. Why? Because it gives us what we do not deserve. Why? Because it's motivated by love. We never know just when to expect it in our lives. Grace through the Holy Spirit teaches us, number one, to renounce sin. That means kick it to the curb and not letting it own us. Titus 3:3 through 8. This is why we should never forget or take for granted what Jesus did on that cross for us. This is why we should also want to do verse 12 of Titus chapter 2. Self-control might be a better term here. Outing of using our sound mind and good judgment. This is a good trait for pastors to exercise because self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. 1 Peter 1:13 and 5 verse 8 and Romans 12:3. Talk about soberness. That tells us how to get serious, to wait on the Lord, resist temptation, to serve in the church. Grace also teaches us to respect others. Philippians 2:3. Living by grace allows us to see through the eyes of grace. Respect is the key that opens the door to any relationship. It teaches us to have reverence for God. Soberness involves our inward life. Godliness is upended. Our when we are born with godliness. Now, how do we get there? Grace teaches us we grow into it as we do His will. Grace teaches us spoon by spoon and not the whole plateful at once. 2 Peter 1, 3 and 4. Does everyone reach it? No. Why? Some disconnect for various reasons. It requires hard work and discipline. 1 Timothy 4, 7 and 8. Grace teaches us to respond diligently. Some don't reach it because of hardened hearts like Pharaoh's or the Pharisees. The reason Jesus came to be a servant is that it completed His joy, Ephesians 2:10. Jesus does the saving. We do the serving. Grace helps us watch for that blessed hope. Eternity is our fondest hope, yet it defies understanding. Remember, there's no such thing as time in heaven. We only need it down here. We were created for praise and worship. You see, that's the place where grace meets up with gratitude. Mr. Newton wrote this hymn because he was so grateful for his salvation. He was humbled yet uplifted. You may send your prayer request to heanswerstwo@gmail.com.